Goedemiddag.
Yes.
Good afternoon. Good morning, everyone. Hi, Dorit. Hi, Gigi.
Hi, Michael. Sorry, I was in a hurry to to get my laptop, but it all worked. It was so great seeing you all in the studio.
Good interview. Thanks. Okay, well, we've come to the final, and Dorit and I prepared a speech together, and we wanted to share a few slides, just look back on what happened, the journey that we took together, but also then look to the future, what's next, because the party is not over. This is a journey that will continue, so we want to dive into that. But Dorit, maybe you can first just look back to this wonderful journey that we had together.
Yeah, I would love that. If you have one more second, then I'm making sure that I have the slides ready here. All right. One more second. Yes. All right. Yeah, time for a closing speech. I'm almost a bit sad, I have to admit. But I think it's important that we take this moment to reflect, because 4 weeks ago, you all embarked on a journey, a virtual mission to the West Coast. And I know that you are all pioneers at heart as entrepreneurs, but who knew that you would take part in one of the first virtual trade missions? It definitely was a pivot from our side, as I just mentioned in the talk show, challenging our own startup mentality at the Consulate at Holland in the Valley for Gigi. But I'm proud of the result. It has been a successful experiment. For example, going virtual gave us the opportunity to prep you better and organize more sessions to help you sharpen your pitch, to learn about funding, about US mindset, about the VC ecosystem, and many more themes. But we also needed a new way to bond and introduce the one-on-one intakes with Michael, with Gigi, Walter, with myself. And time flies. We already started with the prepping program 4 months ago at the end of November 2020. So we've been on this journey for 4 months already. And now I'm going to share my screen because I also want to visually guide you through our whole journey. Because the official kickoff, February 8th, instead of welcoming you at the airport, we welcomed you with a virtual talk show from The Hague, the same studio as I'm in right now, with Prince Constantijn van Oranje, the special envoy as tech lead, waving you off and wishing you good luck. The whole setting, just like today, and our host Remy from Sprout definitely added some glamour to the kickoff. And after thorough one-on-one coaching session, the pitch coach David Beckett, you were all more than ready. It was time to introduce you to our mentoring ecosystem in the Valley with a pitch and connect event. We mentioned that in the talk show as well, but we introduced a fun Tinder-like element and asked the mentors to swipe left or right based on their first impression. And that way, we already established 88 potential mentoring relationships. Wow, I mean, what an opportunity it proved to be to take this event online, to arrange that many mentors and a virtual swiping system at a live physical event would have been way more challenging. And next up was a mentor masterclass with seasoned entrepreneur and mentor Dennis Tan to enthuse you to make the most out of each mentorship on the digital platform powered by Mentor Jam. The masterclass was followed by a fireside chat with alumni from last year from Spectrex, from Mosa Meet and ArtroSafe, and an expert panel with Gerald Wiebe and Dennis. Many eye-openers, inspiring anecdotes, and a great atmosphere, most of all, to set the tone for the following weeks. So very happy with that. Then the weekly coffee sessions I hosted on they were perfect to just huddle up, so to say, to share how we were all doing, for me to brief you on the upcoming week, but also to bond with each other, to set intentions, to share goals, and see how you can help each other with that. Also very important with a normal trade mission. The next sessions were all hosted by incredible power women. Gigi hosted the session on entrepreneurship and innovation mindset. Rachel Powers talked about product development, and Cynthia opened the conversation on AI and ethics. Very relevant, and here as well, many eye opener. Show Me It Goes opened our eyes for the on the oh, sorry about that. On the importance of a data strategy. That was the eye opener, definitely, with his crash course to Silicon Valley. And it was followed by the virtual company visit to Kaiser Permanente Innovation Center. And we learned all the ins and outs on how healthcare and the medical system in the US is organized. Then week 3 ended with the investor panel, your opportunity to fine tune your pitch once more, but most importantly, to ask your questions on funding directly to seasoned investors. Alexi Andreev from Autotech Ventures and Peter Moran as a health tech investor. It was a special session, definitely. A lot of interaction. Very happy with that. And we definitely saved the best for last, because yesterday evening we hosted the Vcs Pitching Competition. Your chance to pitch your company in front of 4 VCs. We had George from Berkeley Skydeck. We had Carl from Health Tech Capital, Matt as former head of energy of SVB, Silicon Valley Bank, and our trusted partner Gerald Brady from Silicon Valley Bank. It was amazing. It was fireworks. You have all worked so hard on delivering your story. Every one of you took huge steps, and that's what we're here for. We want to help you share your story, establish relationships here in the US, well, actually there in the US, and make sure you can make your impact, leave your mark, and help us solve those global challenges together. What is our ultimate goal? So now what? There has been talk of an after COVID reunion. Jeroen already mentioned it in the talk show as well. But even though the title of this event is saying closing event, we really see this as only the beginning. Michael, over to you. You're going to zoom out a bit first and explain more on what it means to remain part of the Holland and the Valley community. And you will tell us a bit more on what to expect next after that, right?
Yeah, thanks, Dorit. Thanks for that overview. It's been a great journey. So what's next? Let's talk about level up. How can we lift the Dutch ecosystem to the next level? So startups, as you know, are a driving force of the NL new economy, as Constantine always says. Next slide, Dorit. 250,000 jobs created by startups in the Netherlands, double-digit growth, 17 unicorns, and the Netherlands has a top 5 position in Europe. So this really sounds great. 10,000 startups in the Netherlands, but only a small number of those 10,000 startups are actually scale-ups. So that's the other side of the coin. The conversion ratio from startups to scale-ups is low compared to the US. In the Netherlands, it's only 16%. In the US, it's 51%, and in the Bay Area, it's more than 60%. So clearly, something is stopping this movement that we have in the pipeline. Now, if we look at the level of investment in the US, and 95% of the companies we get in Holland in the Valley are looking for funding, as you guys are as well. Last year, there was 1.8 billion available for startups in venture capital money, which is great because this is 38% more than the year before. But if we look a little bit deeper into those numbers, we can see that only 6% actually went to the seed stage startups. So if we all say that, hey, the conversion ratio from startups to scale-ups is low in the Netherlands, we can already see here where the real problem is. So we need to support seed stage to early stage companies. And this is why we've built this program for you. Next slide. Because the mandate is very, very clear. Dutch startups need to look outside of the borders, start scaling a lot quicker. And we want to help you on your international ambitions. Next slide. So what if the Dutch government is going to invest even more in innovation and entrepreneurship? What if we can build a fast track for startups to really scale? What if we can turn the Netherlands into the #1 global breeding ground for unicorns? But this is a long-term play. This will take around 10 years to do this. It's an investment. Next slide. But if I tell you that in principle, we have all the ingredients together, things are available, and it of course starts with great startups that we have with you guys. We just need a green light. So how are we going to do this? How are we going to continue this journey? What we want to do is provide you access to the critical scaling resources that you need, the talent, the knowledge, the technology, capital, and the markets that are out there in the US. Next slide. And moving quickly into an ecosystem as Silicon Valley is well worth it. In the words of the CEO of Adyen a few weeks ago, having top VCs like a Sequoia Capital on board marks your company as a likely success story. Dutch VCs just don't have the same network. So we really need to cross that bridge. We have to connect the Netherlands and the US so that the startup founders, the companies, the promising companies can really grow as fast as possible. We need that. We need that to create wealth in the Netherlands, to create jobs and have great companies. Next slide. So our mission will continue also after we finish today. We are here to help the most promising Dutch startups and scale-ups launch their business in the US. And in this program, we were focused specifically on the Bay Area. But obviously, things will continue. We have a house, a digital house, that not only covers Silicon Valley, but also the rest of the US. And we gave you the keys. You're part of our family. So please make use of our resources. Next slide. Like our academy that is there. And you will notice that if you compare this to a few months ago, it increased further. So we keep on investing into our academy. Also, we will be producing all kinds of new events. Keep it on this slide. All kinds of new events in the next few weeks. There's going to be a Pitch and Connect event in Austin around South by Southwest. And some of you have been invited for that event as well. Then yesterday, my colleague Mark was there to really scout for companies in the biotech digital mission to Boston in May. And there's Chris Smith, the VC of Energy Innovation Ventures, that will have one-on-ones with 4 startups in the next few weeks. So this is great follow-on. But also have a look at LA. Stay tuned for that, because the West Coast is really important for us. If we look at food and agri, if we look at health, if we look at energy transition, then the next stop for us is LA for further support and development. Now, one thing remains for sure. The initiative belongs to you. So we would like to ask you to proactively build and expand the network and to really follow up with the people that you've met throughout our program. We'll stay in touch. We will organize check-in sessions with you just to see how you're doing and how we can further support you. I know that Bas Rogaar from Mentor Jam is also hosting a few bonus, what we call bonus sessions in the next few weeks. So there's a lot of follow-up going on. And we will, together with the Ministry of Economic Affairs and the VSNU, talk about other ways to keep the engagement going. Okay, so in the words of serial entrepreneur, next slide, please, Dorit.
Sweet.
Onno Faber, it's one slide before this. He's the CEO of Rarebase, and he has an amazing story. He moved to the Bay Area in 2012. Back then in the Netherlands, he had a startup. He could only raise 50K for half of the shares. Of course, he didn't do that. That was crazy. He went to the Bay Area. He managed to raise millions, and now he's in his third startup, which is called Rarebase, focused on a specific disease. Really inspiring entrepreneur. And he told me just last week, my biggest regret was not coming to the Valley sooner. So we really want to connect you in the best possible ecosystems so that you can scale. And we believe that is Silicon Valley. Now, fortunately, you guys are early stage and you're already embedded and immersed in our ecosystem. So that's it. We will continue the journey together. We will stay in touch. And what I want to do now, I just want to close with a few thank yous, because there's been lots of people involved, people that you've met, but also some of the people you haven't met. So I want to start with a big shout out to Gigi Wang. Gigi, thanks for co-hosting, co-organizing the program. It's been really great, and love to continue to work with you as well. And we know that you will be there for the startups also in the next weeks and months. Dorit,
Yes.
over to you.
Yes. I would like to thank Walter van der Weijden, our silent power, our daily rock, keeping everything going smooth behind the scenes. Thank you very much, Walter.
Yeah, then two wonderful colleagues here at the Consulate, Milene and Aisha. The invisible hands, and I'm looking at Milene on my left, she's sitting there. You guys have ensured a flawless operation all of these weeks, and handling this operation is not easy. It's quite a ride, and this is a great team. Although we don't see you on stage, we could not have done this program without you. So Milena, many thanks. You did a wonderful job.
Definitely. And on behalf of the technical team here in the studio, I have to thank our TV alumni, Sietse from the Consulate. You were in charge of the talk shows. You made sure the startups had their voices heard, created all the necessary exposure. So thank you, Sietse.
Yeah, to some of the other colleagues, of course, our Consul General, Dirk Jansen, for all his support, to Vincent Storymans, the Deputy Consul, for the day-to-day management, making sure that this is all possible. Thank you to our Holland in the Valley partners, ASR Insurance, Shell, Arcadis, Hall 24K, Palo Alto Networks, Wilson Sonsini, NL in Business. There are many, Stanford Consulting, but of course, Silicon Valley Bank that have been there all the way. To the Ministry of Economic Affairs, the VSNU, to Techly, to Ilona. Ilona, I know that you're in the call. You've been in the program high from the very first start. Thank you all for making this this possible. Then a personal note, Dorit, my business partner, Dorit. There's nothing like the soul of a woman. You and I are also founders, right? We're founders of a startup, but it's called Holland in the Valley. Thanks for all your creativity, your professionalism, but also your relentless focus on delivering quality, on value to the companies. You've been such a positive spirit all around us. Now, business success, as you know, it starts with a team. And I think we are a great team. And as a successful female entrepreneur, you are a true inspiration for me and a rock for our company, Holland in the Valley. Let's continue to climb mountains. So I would say onwards to the next challenge, and we will continue the mission together. Many thanks, Dorit.
Wow, Michael, I did not expect that. Thank you very much. I didn't prepare such a nice story for you, but I have to say, Michael, thank you. Thank you for your experience, for your perseverance, for your go-to mentality that we all confirm on a daily basis. I really agree with you that this is a great team. I feel that the vibe in the whole group, including the startups, including everyone in the organizing team, is even though it's online, I really feel that we sort of became a family. So that is amazing. So thank you, Michael. I also wanted to just point out that we also should thank Mentor Jam, Bas, Julian, and Estelle. The platform played a central role and will continue to play a central role in the coming months, years, who knows. So we will be and remain your open house also in the future. And then Michael, maybe a last word to the startups.
To the startups, you are amazing. There's nothing better to work with such great founders, supporting you in building your companies, helping you to realize your dreams, to make it happen. Some of you really want to change the world, save lives, deal with the challenges we have. You are the foundation that the Netherlands needs to sustain our future economy. So keep up the efforts. We understand and we know that startup entrepreneurship can be very hard at times. So please remember, the salto mortale, we are here with our hands reaching out to you when you need us. So hope to see you again soon in San Francisco. And now let's toast and let's celebrate. Let's go over to the social networking part of this event. many thanks, starters, for being there, and love to keep in touch with you.
Yeah, and Milene, you can start dividing us in the different breakout rooms. For everyone here, get your drinks ready. We will host you from our favorite bars on the West Coast.
Oh,
There we go.